Is your mic on mute?
It certainly was. How on earth did that get muted? I don't know, Bradley.
Okay.
How on earth? I must be stepping on the thing.
I did say in the other party, I was like, oh yeah, I'll create it closer to 8, and the next minute you left, and I'm like, okay, maybe he's creating it. And then,
Okay.
Yeah. I got some bad news.
Oh, what?
So there was talk that Jared wasn't going to be here this week, and he's here, so
yep.
going to be a race for second position.
I think he was just foxing us, wasn't he? Saying he wasn't going to be here, and then he's rocked up. So we are live. We are live now. Good evening, fellas. Good evening to BK. Alright, are we ready to go racing? We might get underway. What do you reckon?
I believe we're waiting for Jace to get back off the toilet, I think.
Okay,
So,
has he had a dodgy curry or something, has he?
he did have some ravioli, and I suggested it's probably gone right through him. So.
Okay, yep. I've got a sense of that from the giant shit emoji that he just sent through. 4 people watching the stream, waiting for Jason to come back from the toilet. Oh, here we go. Where am I? 8:02 p.m. 8:02. I charged my controller for 3 minutes, so hopefully that'll get us through the race. Hang on, let's have a look. Kane Leishman says hello. Hello to you, Kane. Butler, Kane, Sam Sham, or is it Cham? Sam Cham.
Sam Cham.
So are we seriously waiting for Jason to get back up before?
I think so. Like, no one.
Okay.
There's a few readied up. Oh no, Wilco's back. He's readied up. So.
All right, let's do this. 5, 4,
We're
3,
ready.
2, 1. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching right around the world, or given where we are in the world tonight. Guten Morgen and Guten Afternoonen. You know what I mean, folks. We are here in Germany. It's time for the German Grand Prix. Live and exclusive on the Kid Buyers channel tonight. Coming to you, SRL round 6 of this championship. It was Austria last week and Germany this week, as we load up and get ready to go racing. Next week we have a week's break before the beautiful Spa is where we're heading for round 7, which is the final Grand Prix, or final European Grand Prix for this season. 11 rounds, of course, all ending in Abu Dhabi on the 21st of November this year. As big Robbie Pearson there in Deutschland, a big hello to you. And BK looking for me to sing some Backstreet Boys. Who knows? It's going to be a long evening. We might get to that a little bit later as I welcome my co-commentator, the one and only Bradley Marshall. Brad, good evening to you. Alvita Zane.
Alvita scene indeed. Yeah, here we are in Germany, and I've got to say it's definitely one of my more favourite tracks on the calendar because it spices things up, and boy, we got some rain already. Ooh, qualifying is going to be interesting. Yeah.
It's certainly going to be very spicy as I just try and work out whereabouts the cord leading from my microphone is going here, and hopefully I don't mute myself again, Brad, which happened when I first made the party. So that could be scenes, but we do have a wet qualifying session. If Robbie Pearson would be good enough to tell us what the word for wet weather is in German, that would be very good if we could get that. Wilco with the weather report coming in tonight. He says weather report quali. We've got light rain the whole session. Before the race will be sunny. So this could mix things up, and we see DRC Jared, Harry Ryan, and all the rest of them, all the quick guys. This could certainly not only spice things up, but mix up some of these qualifying results for the start of the race, Bradley.
It definitely could, and the interesting thing is these guys, in all of their practice sessions, I believe, have been dry. So everything they would have learned in pre-practice qualifying is just gone out the window again, because it's completely different territory. The track's wet, they're out on the intermediates, so they've got to try and find the best parts of grip. And it could definitely shake up the grid here.
As we take a look now, we're riding on board with the first of the brave men to go out onto the track, and it's Sam Cham in the Alfa Romeo. And riding on board with him now, you can see, like you said, Brad, all of that previous information, all of that previous track, understanding the data, the information coming from the circuit on the dry runs would have all gone out the window now. And similar to the real-life German Grand Prix, of course, which was held in changeable conditions, it makes it so hard because you just don't have the grip that you have in the dry, do you?
No, definitely not. And it definitely makes the task harder, especially at this first turn here, because it's very hard to take in the dry, let alone even the wet. So it'll be interesting who can make the best compromises at turn 1 and the hairpin, see who can get on the traction a bit better. And they're the guys who are going to come out on top in this qualifying session.
I don't want to say it, Brad, but to quote the great Martin Brundle, you've got to just tread so lightly, little bits of traffic there. You've just got to tread like there's an egg under the accelerator pedal. And also, big happy birthday to Murray Walker, who will be leading us off today too, Brad, as he does each and every week. Turning 96 today. That's unbelievable. I'll be happy to get anywhere near that, I can tell you. But big happy birthday to Murray Walker today, 96. And wherever he is, Brad, I'm sure he's watching. 96, only 4 to go, and he's reached the ton. That's not a bad effort.
Definitely not. And I got to say, he's definitely one of my all-time commentators. I remember the first F1 game I ever played was F1 97 back in the day on the PlayStation 1, and commentary back then, listening to, Murray Walker talk and, Jack Sharks Villeneuve not being in the game, it was always Williams #1 in front. So, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. I tell you what, you've just, the nostalgia is real, Brad, because as we see, Sam Cham set a 1:23.337, plenty of threes there. So he's the first driver to set a time in this wet qualifying session. The nostalgia of F1 97, who could forget? And also Martin, I think that was the first appearance from Martin Brundle as well. And he just sort of pipe up every now and then as Harry Ryan goes a little bit quicker. So these times probably about 12 or 13 seconds off the dry times. I was about to say, Brad, who could forget Martin Brundle saying, "You're right there, Murray." And that's pretty much all he'd say in that game. And of course, Williams #1 in second place. Michael Schumacher, absolutely brilliant. I'm going to leave it there, but we'll get back to that, and along with that song request as well from BK. I haven't forgotten about you, mate. Bit of Backstreet Boys. We might get to that a bit later, but look at these times, and even in the wet, Brad, they're still very close, aren't they? 4 guys in the 1:23s.
Yeah, very close, and very surprising to me that they're all so close. So, it's a bit different in the wet conditions here, but they're all so close, and yeah, if we were looking at dry times here, we're looking at like a 1:11, a mid 1:11 to a late and early 1:12. In the practice sessions that we did earlier, I did manage a 1:11.9, and then on the lap that I had invalidated, it was a 1:11.6. So, we're definitely not going to see these times in this session, but we're still seeing some rapid, fast times by these guys out here.
Certainly are, and boy, oh boy, Harry Ryan, currently your provisional pole sitter, as we ride all very, very close. They're coming into the stadium. I was about to say, almost had a moment there, but 7 people on the live stream. Big hello to each and every one of you. If you're new to the Kit Buyers SRL streams, don't forget, if you want to get involved, check out the SRL website on Xbox and PC and PS4, of course. So 12 and a half minutes remaining in this session, and it is mighty, mighty close at the top. Just to recap there, Harry Ryan, our provisional pole sitter with a 1:23.297, and then there's just a kitten's whisker in that between Sam Cham and Wilco, both on a 1:23.3, and then we've got 23.7 for Tooley, 23.8 for V8 Man, who is just ahead of Mozza by the skin of his nutsack, Brad. And then we get into the 1:24s. And it's going to be interesting to see strategy tonight as well. This is for a dry race, of course. One stop appears to be the faster option by about 10 seconds, Brad, but the difference between the softs and the mediums is about a second a lap. So it's going to be interesting to see how this strategy plays out. Do you go for the one stop or do you go for two?
I mean, it's up to the drivers and it's up to debate. I mean, you can go for clear air, start on the softs, get that edge that you need on the field, but you're going to be making an extra 2 stops. So the one stop may be quicker around here, but then again, if you want to get ahead of the midfield and the mid niggle that happens in there, you may just want to jump onto those softs, get them out of the way, and then run 2 sets of mediums until the end. Or you could go medium, hard, hard to medium. All these guys are going to have the free choice of tyre because it is a wet session. So it's going to be interesting to see what these guys will do in the race strategy.
And just riding on board there, oh, here we go. Sam has been disqualified from the session for parking in a dangerous location. And that's come straight from race control. I'm wondering whether can he take part in the race if he's been disqualified. I'm guessing he can, as we just saw a big donger there with a 1:22.8. The second of our drivers to set a time in the 1 minute 22s in this qualifying session. But we saw a lot of drivers in the background, didn't we, Brad, sort of moving off the racing line, trying to do the right thing by moving off the track. And unfortunately, it's caught Sam out there. He's been disqualified from this session, so he cannot improve on... I don't think he set a time, did he? He can't improve for the rest of the session.
I believe that he had set a time, and I believe that he was actually in 4th place, where Jared's just slot into now. So that's really unfortunate for him. Like you said, he was trying to give track position to the guys that were behind him, and the game's just caught him out there and... said, sorry mate, but you're going to get disqualified. I believe that's caught someone else out earlier in the season where they may have had a spin and tried coming back on the track and they've just been disqualified right away. So there's still a few issues Codemasters needs to work on in their games, but I mean, it's only affected one driver at the moment.
Oh, as we see Jono, sorry to cut across there, Brad. Jono having a big moment heading into the stadium. He was 6/10 down in that middle sector. And as you can see there, you've got to be so careful, like we said, in conditions such as these. As Julian, our man Julian, the SRL man, King Julian, says, remember to also follow SRL on Twitter at SupremeRL. And Wilco, also our man on the spot there, live and exclusive weather updates from Deutschland with Jason Wilkinson. He says, rain meant to stop in 8 minutes. It's looking unlikely for slicks, though, but it could be one of those spicy little finishes we see, Brad, where last over the line might be the quickest, so it's not completely over yet in this session.
No, definitely not. And with it to dry out in 8 minutes, I mean, there is about 8 minutes and 30 seconds left to go, so it's definitely going to be the guy last over the line that's going to get the best advantage of the track. So it'll be interesting to see when these guys are going to come out of the pits on the last lap that they go for. And hopefully we don't have a Constantina effect like Monza here, with everyone backing up just to get that track position. I don't think we should. I mean, this track is quite lengthy and longer than Monza, so we shouldn't have that issue. And it's definitely, yeah, like you said, going to be, last in is best dressed.
Certainly will be, as BK goes quickest a few moments ago, 1:22.724. So we've got 4 guys at the 1 minute 22. So that track, although it doesn't look it at the moment, it could be drying out. And in fact, BK was the one who wanted to hear me sing "I Want It That Way" by the Backstreet Boys. And I might give him a little bit of the chorus after he took that position. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. I want it that way. There we go. And I'm not going to put anybody through any more than that, but we might just see as Sam Cham just saying my dog distracted me, hence the disqualification. The old ate my homework excuse. There we go. That's for taking pole position, provisional pole position, BK. A little bit of the Backstreet Boys for you, which you requested a moment ago. And and Julian, King Julian's piped up again and says, I was watching some of your old league racing videos the other day. Aren't some of these guys people you raced a few years ago? Well, we are good friends from way back, Brad. I think we've been racing for years, haven't we?
Since F1 2012. I believe that was like the big game that came out that year, and a whole lot of us got together on that game, and we've kind of been stuck together ever since then. And I believe a few seasons ago in TRL, we had a few races together there. I believe I left after Monaco after an absolute shambolic race there where I spun multiple times. But yeah, we've definitely raced over the years, and there's a lot of guys in here that I've definitely raced with and against since F1 2012 as well.
Certainly is. Wilco, Tooley, Rob Dog, V8 Man, Cart Dude, Big Dick Johnson, Alex, yourself. Although you're in the commentary box now, you and I both retired and put our feet up. But yep, all of these guys. Compact as well, Honest Crook. I've raced against all of them to answer your question. King Julian. Keep them coming in as 10 people, and we've cracked into the double figures. Always a highlight of the week on the live stream, as Sam just saying, Alex hated it so much he left. But then Alex has come back saying, I really have no idea what happened. It kicked me out trying to rejoin. And Julian says, very nice to see. 5 minutes in this session. Oh, Wilco. I'm not too sure. Are we allowed to show Wilco going off the track? Our glorious man, Wilco. But what's he going to do? I reckon he's done for this particular lap. Who else is having a hot lap? We can only really see if people are on out laps, can't we? Or in the pits, Brad. We can't see whether they're on a hot lap. Maybe that's something for Codemasters to look at for future games. If someone's on a hot lap, maybe there could be a star or something against their name. As Cart Dude, we're going to ride on board with Cart Dude as Mozza. Unless I'm very much mistaken, Brad, Mozza going with the medium tyres. What on earth is happening there? Now he's back onto the inters as he comes into the pit lane. So strange strategy, but those skies are lightening up, but I don't think we're going to get any dry weather running in this session.
No, I don't think we will, but the funny thing is, the rooster tails are starting to develop behind these cars as well. With the rain easing off, I don't know why the rooster tails are picking up after these cars.
It's quite a strange anomaly. I tell you what we might do, as these comments keep coming in, but or a fire emoji behind the fastest lap. That's an idea, Julian. Something to indicate they're on a hot lap. Yep, the fire emoji. I like it. Great stuff. We'll just recap on the championship as Cart Dude comes into the pits, and Big Dick Johnson now on an out lap. Nothing really changing at the top. Less than 4 minutes remaining, like I mentioned. We've got BK. Not bad for the Renaults. First and fourth at the moment, a 122.724. And then it's Harry Ryan and DRC Jared with 22.7s. And then Big Donga all on his own. And then there's a little bit of a gap back to Mozza. Tooley there in the Ferrari, I believe, without Hef. And Rob Dog in a bit of a Ferrari sandwich there. Wilco in 8th, V8 Man in 9th. Cartu, the man we saw a moment ago, in P10. Then it's Big Dick Johnson on his outlap. Alex has disappeared, and Sam has been disqualified. Honest Crook, the two Haases. Gunter Steiner will be asking a few questions, Brad. 13th and 14th, not good for the American team.
He definitely will be asking a few questions there. One thing I would also like to point out is that Honest Crook and Jimbo Compact have switched cars. So Jimbo is now in the Red Bull full-time and Honest Crook is in the Haas full-time now. So that is a driver change and a driver swap there. So it'll be interesting to see if Honest Crook can get any points for the Haas team here. And
speaking of those changes, we have Tooley replacing Hef, of course. Mozza replacing Jared. But he's not, is he? Jared is here, I beg your pardon. So
Bubbles, he is.
Bubbles.
He has replaced Bubbles.
Bubbles.
So left the league.
Yep, and they got a little bit salty there. Not that I checked the messages, but it seemed to get a little bit salty there last week. Racing Point replacing Ride. Anyway, some changes there. This circuit, 16 corners, very challenging. And Julian saying, Hasking, nice one. I think I have the same Haas joke every week. But anyway, if people think it's fresh material, then good luck to them as we ride on board with Big Dick Johnson. Now, quick, I'm not going to go through the whole championship order. I'm just going to tell you your top three. It's Harry Ryan on top with his first win last week on 91 points. BK on 84, the man that likes a little bit of kid buyers, Backstreet Boys. Then it's Cart Dude in the Williams, who's way down the field in 12th. But he is third in the championship with 3 thirds. Plenty of threes there with a minute and a half to go in this session. And DRC Jared, who, a bit like me, turns up every couple of weeks. But Big Dick Johnson there rounding out the top 5 in the championship. Yellow flag in Sector 2 at the moment. And wow, good doggo. Alex Adams there just reading Sam's comment from a little bit earlier on. Oh, Big Dick Johnson, what's he done? A 24-1. And it seems that he's struggling in these conditions, Brad, as we see him coming up with some traffic, but he's not at all comfortable in these conditions. But could it work out better for him as, there's contact with Crumpkin. Contact. And, oh, dearie me. And that has...
What are you doing?
And Crumpkin, honestly. And that's a disaster. That collision with Crumpkin, because that's not what we want to see here. And you can see we're getting a little bit of Monza action, I reckon. Could be last over the line, Brad, but they're making an absolute balls of it. With 30 seconds to go, there's lots and lots of traffic out there with lots of people on their outlaps.
There definitely is, and they're all kind of tripping up on each other. And it's unfortunate for Jono there, because I believe he definitely would have been on for a better lap. And he's just ran into Crumpkin, who, I mean... To be fair, is the resident Robert Kubica at the moment down the back of the grid nearly every week. So it's oh, Jared's had a moment here. Jared's in the he's lost it at the first corner, and Big Dog Jono's retired as well.
Well, no wonder he's gone with medium tyres. It was well worth a try. But as he retires from the session. So BK and DRC Jared out of our top 3 have retired from this session. So it's this man. What can he do? He set a 1:22.737. We might stick with this one. There is a yellow flag in sectors 1 and 3. As time is up in this session. Julian loving the Haas memes. He says this hasn't been done in a while. Very nicely done. They won't be laughing, though, down there at Haas with 9th and 15th. Like you said, Crumpkin, very much the Robert Kubica of this league. I guess he's got a point, though, hasn't he, for Williams this year? So that's a little bit harsh on Robert Kubica.
Oh, Rob. And he's just had a moment into the second, third sector there.
Big Rob Dog, 1996, having a moment as well. We'll keep flicking through. V8 man off there, cutting the grass, coming into the stadium as well, I think. Compact is in the pits. Cart Dude, as Rob Dog retires from the session. They're dropping like flies. Crumpkin doing what Crumpkin does down there in 15th. But let's have a look at this man. And we're just going to ride on board with him now, coming in to the stadium section, as Jason saying the track got too dry almost for the intermediate tyres. Time is up. Harry Ryan, the only one of the top 3 at least to try and improve his time. But that track is drying out. As he comes across the line now. Is he already finished?
He's already finished. We're just waiting for V8 man to be put up on the Jacksonville pit lane, and it'll throw us into the formation lap.
And I think we are just about done. All of our drivers have completed their hot laps. Ryan, thank you, Julian, Sam, and Alex saying waiting for V8 man. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I love this bit. Dun, 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 dun. Have I got a bit early, have I, Brad? But no, there we go. Crumpkin in 15th on your screen. And New Zealand Ryan says, hey guys, how you going? He loves that accent, doesn't he? And I've got more XP for doing absolutely nothing except watching. And how good's that? I'm going to level up soon if I keep this up. But there we go. Big hello to Shep from Mount Panorama. He will be absolutely on the gear. On the gear. I shouldn't say that, Shep. You'll be having a frothy or two. And, thanks, New Zealand Ryan. But here we go. BK in P1, Harry Ryan in P2. We'll try and get through this as quick as we can. DRC Jared in P3, Big Donga. Wilco in P5. Hopefully he stays out of trouble at the start. P6 for Mozza. Thule, Rob Dog there. Rob Dog, the German, racing in Deutschland. Honest Crook in 8th. V8 man 10th. Compact Cart Dude, Big Dog Johnson. and Alex was in the top 14. Then Sam, I think, was down there somewhere, who got disqualified from the session. As we get ready to go on the formation lap, Ryan says, "Oh, that accent needs to die. He sounds pretty livid, eh?" And there we go, Harry, and they're doing their own thing in the comment section. As we get ready to go racing here, Brad, nice. Gee, that weather changed quick. It's nice and sunny now for the race.
Yeah, nice and sunny for the race, and we're going to see the true pace of these guys now, with the track being dry for this whole race. So, I mean, it did shake up the grid a tiny bit with BK at the front and Harry, DRC Jared in third. So there's like three of the big title contenders at the moment, all at the front of the grid. Hopefully Wilco is able to stay out of trouble here, and he's able to take it to those guys as well. He's been really unfortunate this season with the first lap shenanigans that go on, and hopefully this time he's able to avoid it.
He certainly has been shit out of luck, I think, is the technical term to describe it. But here we go, onto the formation lap. Nice and sunny race, of course. Won't start my German one-liners at the moment, Brad. I've got 34 laps to do it, though. As we see BK in P1. We'll flick through this order again. I seem to rush through it a little bit a moment ago, but Harry Ryan in P2. As you can see him going on the hard tyres, I'm guessing, the white marked hard tyres. And there we go, we can see the tyres now on your screen. Mediums all the way, all medium tyres except for Harry, Kart Dude and Sam Cham. And this is a bit of an interesting strategy here, of course. Free choice of tyres after the wet qualifying session, Brett.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's the hard tyres that go 6 laps longer than the medium tyres here. So there's not a huge difference in between them. I mean, a one-stop's definitely going to be possible for all these guys. Those guys that are on the hards, though, may be able to eke out enough time on those tyres and switch to softs right at the end of this race. Ooh, so it'll be interesting. Yeah, a bit of a niggle there on the formation lap. And, yeah, so we're just coming around to the back end of the track here, and we'll be waiting for Murray to get us underway when these lights go out.
Here we go, and Big Shep saying he's had a few frothies up on the mountain there. Good stuff. Big hello to everybody. New Zealand Ryan, just keep it nice and clean as we see the drivers lining up. 34 laps around Hockenheim here in Germany. 16 corners, 34 laps separate the drivers between now and the winner of this race as they line up on the grid. And we just wait for Crumpkin at the back there. But here we go. We're ready to go racing. And on Murray Walker's 96th birthday, we're going to get Murray to kick us off. Here we go. Kick it in the guts. We're ready. The engines are sounding. We're going to tell you what, the tension is absolutely killing me as we get ready. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Go, go, go for the German Grand Prix. And the 2 Renaults make a fantastic start, and they're up to P1 and 2. BK and Big Donga didn't even need to go for a dive bomb. He's up into P2 at the moment. Up 2 positions. He got a rocketing start off the line. So it's BK, Big Donga, DRC Jared slotting into 3rd. Mozza has jumped up 2 spots. Harry Ryan has dropped down 3 places, and now Wilco is looking to try and move on him for size as Harry goes down the inside of Mozza, and now Wilco wants a piece of that action too. I think they've all got away cleanly, Brad. Another hectic start off the line here.
Yeah, definitely a hectic start, and everyone has seemed to get away off the line really good, which is quite nice to see that there hasn't been any sort of contact at the moment, as Wilco just dives up the inside of... Oh, hold on. BK's dropping down through the field, and so is Donga. Have the teammates collided?
Oh, no. It's Turkey 2010 all over again. Rosberg and Hamilton, Webber and Vettel. I reckon they might have collided because BK, you can see him on your screen now, he's dropped 10 positions. They got the perfect start, but it's all going wrong for Renault. I'm not too sure what the word in French is for it, but they will be very, very pissed off on that Renault pit wall. I wouldn't like to be in that motorhome with Cyril at the moment, Brad. This is disastrous for Renault. And is he just trying a little bit too hard now to come back through the field?
Very disastrous. I believe Donga may have gone for one of his infamous Donga dive bombs that have caught a lot of people out and have got himself into trouble. So it's really unfortunate that that's taken out both Renaults, because both of them were P1 and 2, and Donga's dive bomb may have just cost these guys the win.
Unbelievable stuff. We'll head back to the front and we can see DRC Jared has absolutely doing what he does best, streaking away at the front, lap 2 out of 34. And New Zealand Ryan saying, I'll keep it nice and clean when that accent goes away. Well, I've got news for you, New Zealand Ryan. It's not going anywhere, and we're just going to keep saying it more and more, eh? And Julian has got back to us with a French word, Bradley. He says, sacre bleu. That is what Cyril, sacre bleu. That's what Cyril, oui, chef. That's what he will be saying in the Renault motorhome, because that is a golden opportunity. And my goodness gracious me, Big Donga is absolutely plumb last as Jared sets a quick lap, Brad. Lap 3 out of 34. DRS will be enabled, of course, a dry race. The drivers had a fresh start on some new tyres as well. But boy, it's all gone tits up for Renault at the moment, Brad. 8th and 16th at the moment after that perfect start.
It's definitely gone tits up for those guys. But one guy I want to say that it hasn't finally gone tits up for is our man Wilco, who's sitting in 3rd place on the podium at the moment, and he's reeling Harry Ryan in because Harry is on those on those hard tyres. Sorry, DRC Jared is setting the pace on those mediums, but he isn't getting away from Harry Ryan. So these gaggle of cars, 1st, 2nd and 3rd, may all close up on each other.
Oh, and DRC! Oh my goodness, sorry to cut across there, Brad, but DRC had a bit of a moment coming out of whatever turn that was, but he's still a fair way ahead of Harry Ryan, as we can see there, Harry Ryan in P2. Our man Wilco, who is having a cracking race, and you know the drill, Brad, we might just keep our cameras exclusively on Wilco. I think it's written into the fine print of our contract. Of course, but as he comes through to complete the last couple of corners of this lap. And I'm sorry, Brad, what were you going to say? I just completely cut you off there, and I do apologise.
I am going to be honest, I forget what I was going to say, but I am looking at an intense battle right now between Mozza, Rob Dog and Tooley. At the moment, Rob Dog's being held up by Mozza, so Rob Dog's going to want to clear Mozza as quick as he can so he can get up to Wilco, because those boys have had some infamous battles on Project Cars with the Indianapolis finish and the Rallycross finishes that they've had as well. And
they certainly have as Rob Dog. Oh, look at this, down the inside. But he locks a brake, he locks up, oh goodness! And now Tooley says, I'll have a piece of that too! Sacre bleu! It's all happening here, lap 4, only on lap 4, can you believe it? We've got a Toro Rosso out in front of Toro Rosso in P6 as BK, the little Frenchman. He might not actually be French, but he's driving for a French team, and he is through. Boy, oh boy, he put some manners on V8 man, as Shep said, Porky said you're a legendary commentary. A legend commentary, I think he means a legend commentator. I do appreciate those kind words, Porky. Up there on the mountain, hope you fellas are having a frothy for me, or 2, or 3, or 4 throughout the course of the weekend. Don't forget the Bathurst 1000, that will be absolutely fantastic. But let's just recap what is happening in this hectic German Grand Prix. If you're just joining us, Auf Wiedersehen to you all, because it's got a little spicy on the opening few laps of this race. And we might just recap the order. DRC Jared ahead of Harry Ryan, our man Wilco, that's right, your man Wilco, and ours as well. Big Shep, I know you're watching there. Wilco in P3, Rob Dog in P4, Tooley. It's like a Project Cars reunion, isn't it? Oh, down the inside!
Oh, contact!
Oh, Jesus! I'm not sure we can say that on air, but I've got to say that was extremely close. And BK said, get stuffed, I'm coming through to V8 Man. But V8 Man said, well, how about some of this? I'll just go back past. Great racing here, Brad.
Yeah, some very great racing. I believe BK went in a bit too hot and made contact with the rear of Mozza as well. So, thankfully, this isn't on simulation damage, and, you know, the rear tyres don't go pop as soon as you hit the rear. But yeah, you know, both McLarens are now passed back on BK, so He's made a bit of he's lost a bit of an end plate with the contact with Mozza. So this race has just gone to shit for the boys from the French team, Renault.
It's going from bad to worse. And I tell you what, I reckon he'll be shouting the crepes tonight. Because this is an absolute balls up. It's an absolute disaster. Off go the medium tyres, on go the hard tyres, and a new front wing if you don't mind. But boy oh boy, where are they now? They're out of the points, can you believe? Incredible stuff. BK now out of the points as we see him come back onto track. He's only ahead of Compact and Crumpkin. But,
Jono.
And Jono, what is going on there? Was there some contact there, Brett?
No contact. It was a bit of an audacious move, but yeah, he's just trying to go up the inside of Mozza and his own teammate, and unfortunately went a bit wide. The move was definitely on, but unfortunately it didn't stick. It's definitely great to see these two McLaren boys together again, because these two do have ding-dong battles when
They certainly do, and I've barely got time. Julian saying, "We love you, Trevor and Brad." I love you too, King Julian, my beloved King Julian. And this race, I'll tell you what, there's so much action, Brad, I can barely reach over, open up the lid of my drink bottle and take a sip. I can assure you it is water, by the way. But I can tell you, lap 7 out of 34. I won't start the German jokes at the moment, but they're not too far away, Brad, here. Lap 7 out of 34. This race is just heating up. And we might just take a look at what particular compound of tyre. Oh, Wilco.
Down the inside of Harry.
Oh, Wilco.
He's pulled it off.
Down the inside. He's got it, I reckon, Brad, has he?
Yes, he has. He's gotten past Harry, who's on the harder tyre here. So Jason's definitely on the better tyre to be on in the early stage of this race, because Harry's going to go a bit longer. But Wilco with a nice move up the inside there. He put one on me in the pre-season races here in Germany, and unfortunately it didn't pan out for him that day, but he's got the move done on Harry here. So let's see if he can go chase after Jared now.
Well, he's 4.8 seconds off Jared, and I am moister than an oyster at the moment, young Bradley, because that move is not only is it our man Wilco, we know that, we know the rumours, we know that people reckon my goodness, he's getting very close though, Harry. I reckon he's going to have another go here at the next DRS zone, but we know it's just great to see. He's had a really shithouse start to the season, and it's good to see those two Ferraris in the top 5, but I reckon we're going to ride on board with Harry here at the moment as Kaima Lappin is watching. That's great to know, as here we go, the Mercedes. Oh yes, 325 kilometres an hour, 8th gear using the ERS, the DRS. Wilco trying to stay in front. He's got that nose in front at the moment, and he is just saying, ciao, see you later, Harry, because he wants to keep that P2. There might be other battles going on, Bradley, but this is where it's at the moment, with the two number 19s going ding-dong battle style.
Yeah, both the 19s going ding-dong. And the interesting thing is, Wilco's got the better traction out of the corners because those tyres just have a bit more tread than those harder tyres. And, we've got Rob Dog not far behind, about 2 seconds. So while these two battle, it's going to allow Rob Dog to get up in this as well. So we may have 3 men in the second fight and for second position. Unfortunately, it isn't for first position because we have Jared just out in front. But, man, wouldn't that be an epic battle for first place with Wilco, Ryan, and, Harry, Ryan, and Rob Dog?
Well, who knows? He might, it is strict corner cutting as well, so we might see some penalties that could change up the results. But Rob Dog, who's just keeping it interesting as well in P4 in the Red Bull, who's shown some pretty good pace since joining this league back again. As Julian says, Trevor buys cricket. We'll worry, we'll get back to that. Oh, Harry, what on earth's happening here? Did he have a moment there, Brad? My goodness gracious me. I'm not going to win the awards for my directing because I'm missing all these battles, but he might have had a moment there coming out of the hairpin.
Yeah, he definitely did. He went for the crisscross again and just tapped the rear of Jason, and it unsettled his car and put him into a tiny bit of a spin. So Rob's would have seen that, and it's definitely going to encourage Rob that Harry might not be handling these tyres well.
And they're coming up to Crumpkin, who is all over the shop here, and he's well and truly out of the way. And thank you, good work there, Crumpkin, who's a lap down at the back of the field, going out onto the drag strip there. But I reckon Wilco's pinched a bit of DRS from that little overtake. Julian, who's got to go, says English class and next class starts in a bit. If you can somehow get us streaming through the classroom so all the students and teachers could hear Julian, that would be fantastic. Hopefully they understand English as well as you do. But, yep, Alvita Zane to you. And thanks for joining in. But lap 10 out of 34, it's DRC Jared in P1. But then it's Wilco in P2, Harry Ryan not far behind him. And this is keeping Rob Dog very interested as we keep going through the order. Tooley in the second Ferrari. The McLarens together there, 6th and 7th. Mozza down there in 8th. The second Toro Rosso in 8th. Cart Dude, the man who's 3rd place in this championship, Brad, absolutely in the middle of no man's land and not really a threat tonight.
Yeah, unfortunate for him that he's not a threat tonight. And he is ahead of one of his championship rivals in BK though, so he's going to gain some points on him there. Oh my god, what is Crumpkin doing?
As we're just going to go to Crumpkin. I don't think Crumpkin even knows what he's doing. This man, very much our resident Kubica. And even... Oh, I had a bit of a joke there, Brad, but I won't say that. Because, anyway, as he's off the track, he is all over the shop. And, well, oh, my goodness me, he's done 8 laps on the medium tyres, but he's hanging in there. Good for him. And, my goodness, lap 11. So at this rate, he's probably going to be lapped once or twice, at least by DRC Jared, who is out front. Done 10 laps on the medium tyres. So Wilco and DRC Jared running the same strategy again. Oh, my goodness, though. Look at this pressure with Harry right up his backside as we keep flicking through. Oh, Tooley and V8 man getting rather spicy here. Big Dick Johnson there, but Tooley in a McLaren sandwich coming up to this particular corner. Turn 8, I think it is. The Mercedes corner 10, I beg your pardon. Thank God you're here, Brad. Here we go. I'm all over the shop, but look at this battle. This has just got me moist once again as he comes into the stadium. All sorts of pressure on V8 man in the McLaren. He's right up his jacksy. Is he going to make a ball?
Contact!
He's around, and Jesus Christ, look at that. 5th and 6th now for the McLarens. But Tooley is off the track, and we've seen a Ferrari in that gravel trap a couple of years ago, of course, Brad, with Sebastian Vettel going off there in the 2018 race, but now down to 9th. So absolute disaster there for Tooley.
Absolute disaster, and it's very unfortunate because Tooley was having a strong showing there. I believe V8 man just didn't see him throw it up the inside at the last second there, and unfortunate bit of side pod collision there, and it spun Tooley around. The big winner out of that is Big Dog Jono, who's gone up to 5th place. Something that I would like to point out as well, I do know that Rob Dog and Big Dog Jono do have 3-second penalties though, so V8 man is still in this.
And don't forget about Harry, as we Harry on the hard tyres there, of course, as we see Alex come in the Alfa Romeo there. Off go the medium tyres, on go the hard tyres, so he'll be running longer. I think that might have been a front wing change, Bradley, but the camera was slightly obscured. But if I'm a betting man, I reckon that was, as he comes back out onto the track now. Out of the points at the moment, along with the other Alpha of Sam Cham, and I reckon Alex has got out well ahead of him there, so he is the leading Alfa Romeo here tonight. As we get back to the front, what's happening in that spicy battle between Harry and Wilco? Well, I can tell you now that lap 13 out of 34, he...
Rob Dog's in on it as well.
Oh, Rob Dog.
Right there.
Just making a little bit of a three-way battle here at the moment, and they're all going to be having a DRS off. They're going to be DRSing off. You know what I mean, Brad. Let's have a look at this one. Oh, they're going to go at it again, I reckon.
Yeah, they definitely are. And Harry just up the inside here, clearly up the inside. Jason's hanging around the outside. Rob Dog's trying to go up the inside. We've had 3 go into that corner before with myself, Dean and Wilco in the pre-season race. As this is tremendous racing. Rob Dog right there. He's going to try and hang it around the outside, but unfortunately doesn't stick it there, with Harry Ryan coming out victor there for the moment. And Jason losing out.
3 wide at one stage there. And Rob Dog saying, get out of my way, you little Untermenschens. I'm coming through. And wow, unbelievable stuff. He is racing the race of his life here in the fatherland. But we'll stay away from those German one-liner jokes at the moment. But Harry Ryan just doesn't seem... He's keeping his nose in front, Brad, but he's struggling at the moment, isn't he? Just does not seem to have the raw pace. And he's got Rob Dog and Wilco breathing down his neck at the moment.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have the raw pace, but you do have to remember that he is on the hard tyres, and I believe they are 5 to 6 seconds slower than the medium tyres. So he's going to be on the slower tyre now, but when he pits, he's going to be on the faster tyre, while these other guys are going to be on the slower tyre. So, Rob Dog driving it down the inside.
Rob Dog!
He's made it stick. These two are side by side. Wilco having a big moment there. Oh.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph, this is exciting. Unbelievable. Oh, he switchback move, cuts his nose off there. Just, my goodness me. And Rob Dog will be a he's going to be a bit of a sauerkraut after that one as they come into the stadium. What action, what drama. It all means, of course, that DRC Jared is 8 seconds or something in the lead, but we don't give a shit about that, Rob, because second, third and fourth are all together at the moment. Lap 14 out of 34 here at the German Grand Prix. It's great to have you with us.
Yeah, this battle is intense. Definitely reminding me of the pre-season race that we had earlier on in the season between myself, Dean, and Jason. These guys are just pushing it to the absolute limit and respecting one another. And hopefully we see Wilco close back in. He has fallen behind just a little bit, but these guys are definitely going to have to pit before Harry. And hopefully when Harry pits, he'll come out and slot right behind these guys, and they'll be able to continue this battle until the end of the race. At the moment, it's just a one-man race at the front with Jared, so I mean, why not keep the action on the guys where the battle is actually happening?
Good idea. I'm with you on that one, Brad, as the battle continues. And New Zealand Ryan says, hey, let's battle this hard on lap 14. Oh, yes. He says Jared might as well pause the game and go off and make a cup of tea or something to make it interesting. But Stress Budget Racing says, stick it up on Rob Dog. Yeah, stick it in the guts, Rob Dog, as this is magnificent stuff. I tell you what, that gap's dropped to 6.5 seconds out in front. But maybe DRC Jared is just easing off a little bit to enhance, or just I'll try and maybe stretch that stint out a little bit longer, but you never know. But lap 16 out of 34, and we're approaching half race distance here as Wilco into the pits. Oh, stop everything. Off go the medium tyres now, and he will be running those hards to the end. And are we looking, Brad, at a little bit of undercut action depending on where he comes out in traffic?
Yeah, definitely looking for a bit of undercut here. I will say, with myself doing a bit of practice this week, the hard tyres did feel better than the mediums, so maybe being on the hard tyres at this point is the right call. He's going to try and go for the undercut on Harry, who's going to go longer. One thing I would like to also point out, there is no team rules at Renault at the moment, as Big Donga and BK have been trading places back and forth. Bit interesting. You thought a bit of team radio and team course would have come in after the collisions they had on the opening lap.
You certainly would have, but they're still going at it, as we'll keep an eye on Wilco's lap times too to see whether that undercut on the hard tyres will work, as you said, Brad. They're pretty handy around here, those hard tyres, as Alex in the Alfa Romeo down there does pretty well to get out of the way of this battle. But we might just recap the order. And, we are we're at half race distance. Half the race gone, half still to go. Happy birthday, Murray Walker, of course, if you're just joining us. 96 today. Goodness gracious me, if I get halfway there, I'll be happy with that. But DRC Jared now, as we're seeing a little pit stop action here, I think. V8 man, Mozart, I think, in the pits as well, along with Tooley. But we'll just recap. DRC Jared leads by 5 seconds over Harry, and Rob Dog harrying him. See what I did there, Brad? Magnificent stuff. Cart Dude all the way up there in fourth. Where on earth did he come from? But Jason Wilco looking very nice there, our man Wilco in P5. Then it's Honest Crook up there in P6, P7 and P8 for the two McLarens are Big Dick Johnson and V8 Man. Then it's Mozza, Big Donga, BK as well. Unbelievable, 10th and 11th, and they were first and second after the first couple of corners. As all, this could be a little bit of an intra-team battle happening here. Who is gonna pull rank here? The number 13 and 14. Sacre bleu! Sacre bleu! It's BK up into P10. And Brad, I can't do that again because it hurts my throat.
These guys have been trading places back and forth over the laps, and it's quite interesting because they haven't necessarily made any room, as we have DRC Jared actually pit at the front of the race there, so Harry Ryan is going up into first and Rob Dog in second. We'll see how close Jason comes out to him, as Jared's just coming out of the pits now and back onto the track. So Wilco did make a tiny bit of time up on him, but unfortunately not enough to jump Jared. But I mean, that wasn't going to happen with Jared having a big lead already. So we'll have to just wait and see when Rob Dog and Harry come in as to whether Wilco got an advantage for pitting first.
There we go. So DRC Jared coming out into some pretty good space there. A couple of seconds ahead of Can't Dude and another couple of seconds ahead of Wilco. And, well, there we go. So lap 18 out of 34. These two inherit the lead. Harry, of course, still in that battle with Rob Dog. And I've got to ask you the question. You're a racer from way back, Brad. You still are. But would that battle, I guess it's going to affect their lap times, isn't it? Their tyres. What sort of impact does that have on the tyre wear and the tyre life when you're battling as hard as these two have been over the last few laps?
It's definitely going to impact your tyres a lot. And, I mean, when you're in the heat of the situation, you're not necessarily thinking about your tyres. So this may actually come back to haunt these two that are at the front with Harry Ryan and Rob Dog battling so hard. I believe that Jason will get a hefty lead on these guys, as he is only 17 seconds behind, and I believe it's about a 20-second stop here. So he's going to come out in second place with about a 3-second lead, as we have one of the back markers. What is that back marker doing? He's trying to get out of the way, but he hasn't made it easy for Rob. He let Harry Ryan go straight by.
Well, could we be seeing a few cheeky tactics here? He let Harry straight through, and I know he can't evaporate, Brad, but wow, mighty, he's not making life easy, is he, for Rob Dog in the Red Bull?
No, definitely not, and I gotta say, I'm not really a fan of that. If you're a lap car and you aren't getting out of the way, I don't think you should be driving, to be honest. Rob Dog is right there, and he's in a fight with the guy for the lead, and he just easily let Harry right through and said to Rob Dog, nah, get stuffed, and I don't believe that's fair racing.
No, didn't look too good from my angle either, but we might hear more about that a bit later on as Rob Dog comes into the pits now. And which tyre is he putting on? The hard tyre. So we're seeing that typical one stop, either from hard to medium, which is what Harry's going to do, or medium to hard, as Rob Dog coming out of the pits now. But that did not help him at all, did it? That, well, what would you say, Brad, about one or two sectors there where he got caught up behind Sam, who's way down in 14th place. Not good form there, I wouldn't have thought, but we might just hear it. Like I said, we might hear about that a bit later. But lap 20 now out of 34 as Rob Dog comes out in a little bit of clear air. But boy, I reckon Wilco he's got a couple of seconds on him at the moment, Brad. But of course, Rob Dog will have the fresher tyres leading towards the end of the race.
Rob Dog definitely will have the fresher tyres, but like I said before, he was just treated unfairly on the track there by Sam. He gave the room to Harry and just said, stuff you to Rob, and Rob's lost out because of that. And that's unfortunate for his race. He is on the fresher tyres, and hopefully he will catch up back up to Wilco, and these two can have a scrap for the podium position. But Cart Dude has retired from the race.
Oh, and we didn't see that. There might have been an incident there with Honest Crook. Those two were very, very close. I must admit, I was looking at a battle between Mozza in the Toro Rosso and also BK at the moment. BK done 14 laps after making that early pit stop. He's done 14 laps on the hard tyres as Rob Dog picks up a 3-second time penalty. Maybe a little bit of frustration creeping in after the ill treatment he got from that Alfa Romeo. But Mozza and BK, so BK's through. on the comeback trail, up into P7th now. But you're thinking he will have to stop again, Brad. Those tyres aren't going to get through to the end as Moz is very, very close. And I reckon he's going to have a crack at him here. That Toro Rosso looks very slippery in a straight line. He makes a slight error there going off the track. He hasn't got too much battery life left, but he'll be using the fuel and the DRS. BK looks to cover him off. This is the battle for 7th, and he is back through again, but BK not giving up this fight. All very fair, very close racing that we're seeing here at the moment. Mozza on much fresher tyres, Brad. 4 laps on the hards compared to BK. 15 laps on those hard tyres, like we mentioned. But not a bad battle going on there. We might keep flicking through the order. We've got Big Donga, who might have gone for one of his famous dive bombs early in the race, and that could have been the reason why Renault are where they are now. But Thule, who's rounding out the top 10 at the moment. These two Renaults are in the battle. They're in a battle royale at the moment, and he's through there. But how long is that going to last with Big Dog? Oh, they're off the track. That looked a little bit interesting, a little bit spicy, if you don't mind. But boy, oh boy, that was very racy there. So both the Renaults are still in the wars here on lap 22, Brad.
Yeah, both the Renaults definitely are. Something that I did want to point out, we may not have caught, is Wilco did actually... As Donga's done another dive bomb, he's got to watch out with those because they're catching people out and they are dangerous. Something I would like to point out as well, we did miss it. Wilco did actually come out in front of Harry, but Harry had the fresher tyres and was able to get past Wilco. So now it's up to Harry to try and rein in Jared and see if anyone can actually take Jared here for this win.
I've got to say this. What do you call? I'll just do one of these jokes. What do you call a blind German? A Nazi. There we go. That's terrible, isn't it? We'll leave it there as Crumpkin gets out of the way. Lap 23 out of 34. And boy, oh boy, like you said, he got ahead of Wilco there, Harry did, and he's on the medium tyres. They've got to do another 11 laps, but they should be able to get that done. And Wilco, I've got to say, he's looked a little bit scruffy, dare I say it, Brad, on the last couple of laps. And he's dropped back a couple of seconds. And now his old mate Rob Dog is looking to catch him for some company as well. But I've got to say, the two McLarens tonight, with a bit over 10 laps to go, looking very nicely indeed. 7 and 6 laps respectively on the hard tyres, but they're sitting in P5 and P6. But of course, we're yet to discover who has penalties and who hasn't, Brad. But they're still both in the top 6. Not a bad result from them so far.
Yeah, not a bad result for those two McLarens. And I've got to say, they're the two guys that have had the biggest wins today, with both those Renaults taking each other out. McLaren have come up to 5th and 6th, so that's going to be some good team points for them and points for themselves individually. You were just talking about Wilco's form. I don't want to say that he actually dropped off, to be honest. I believe it's just... I know Wilco does have a 3-second time penalty, but those medium tyres are the faster tyres, and I believe Harry's just getting the best of them.
Oh, as we see, a Haas has gone off there. I think it's got to be Crumpkin, I reckon. There was a Haas in the wall. Sorry to interrupt, Brad, again, but there was a Haas in the wall just entering into the stadium. So we've lost Cart Dude, we've lost Crumpkin. So just 16 drivers started, 14 are left. The two Alphas down there. And we got a safety car. Oh boy!
Oh my God! For the first time!
Jesus, we've got a safety car. Don't adjust your TV screens, because we've actually got a safety car, Brad. And now this is going to change it big time as they all dive into the pit lane.
Yeah, it's definitely going to change it up, as we see a lot of the guys changing the soft tyres, which is probably the best thing to do with only 10 laps to go. Oh boy, are we in for some juicy action? I was not expecting this. The most we've had this season is a virtual safety car, and it's taken, I believe this is the 6th round of our championship, and we've finally got the safety car that we've waited all season for so far. Well, so all these guys, I believe, will dive into the pits for the soft tyres, and it's just going to be like a sprint race in the F2, right to the end of the race.
Well, not only have I never seen a safety car in this championship, I don't think I've ever seen one in this game at all. And I do apologise, Brad. I was that excited. I knocked my drink bottle off the desk and the controller as well, and I almost muted myself again. But lap 25 out of 34. And I'm guessing as I was flicking through those camera angles, it looked to me as though the guys in the lower half of the top 10 were closest to the pit lane, so they may have benefited from that first, but there will be time to come into the pits as they're all coming in and on to the red marked soft tyre, Brad. We've got a little bit of a spicy finish coming up here.
We definitely do, and I would like to point out that the leader, Jared and Harry Ryan and Jono, have not pitted. So Wilco, Rob Dog have definitely got their trouble ahead of them with the guys that haven't pitted, but they're on the fresher tyre. So Wilco and Rob Dog, look for them to be finishing on the podium, if not even the lead of the race and winning this race. They are on the fresher tyre, and I believe they are 1.1 seconds faster than the medium tyres and 1.9 seconds faster than the hard tyres here, I believe.
Unbelievable as we take a look at Burton Mylander, who I think drives the safety car. But you can see there, DRC Jared has just got to keep the pace, keep his distance behind that safety car, keep warming all four wheels and tyres. As I say that, he'll probably be saying, leave me alone, I know what I'm doing. But I'm guessing we might see the safety car out for another lap after this, Brad. Is it when the lights go off at the top it's coming in? But I can't see that happening at the moment, so we might see the safety car for another lap. And I might just keep, you can see there on the left-hand side of your screen, DRC Jared in front, 7-lap-old hard tyres. But,
Harry Ryan faking to go into the pits there.
Faking it till he's making it, I reckon. We are going to see another lap with this safety car. So it will be a sprint to the end. Big Dick Johnson there in P3. Are we going to have those? There's two Alfa Romeos, 13th and 14th. Are those cars going to be allowed to unlap themselves, Brad? I'm not sure whether they can do that.
I'm not sure whether Codemasters have programmed that into the game. So at most, they're going to have to get right out of the way of these guys in front, because they are on the normal lap where both Alphas are a lap down. So hopefully the safety car will let them both by so they're out of the way. Otherwise, they've got to do a fair thing and get out of the way of the drivers behind them.
Certainly will, and Sam, as we know, he's got prize. He has been a big fan of that earlier in the race, of course, coming across Rob Dog. But this is going to be incredible. So a chance to save fuel, oh my goodness, talking about the Alfa Romeos getting in the way there. Alex almost stopping dead. Brake testing Big Dick Johnson there as we rode on board with the McLaren driver. But a chance to save fuel too, of course, Brad. So that shouldn't be an issue. And you can also save battery as well. And for those who have got fresh tyres, we're pretty much going to have a sprint to the end, aren't we? So they've got a chance to save fuel, battery and tyres.
Yeah, it's definitely going to help all these guys out having the safety cars, even the guys that decided to stay out on those tyres. So it's going to benefit everyone, but those guys on those soft tyres, look out for them, because they are going to be rapidly fast, as they should be hitting 112s, 111s, 113s in this race. So they're definitely going to be quick, and I believe we have another lap under the safety car. I don't see the safety car driving away from this pack, so oh god, please do not be a glitch and leave the safety car out for the rest of this race.
Well, otherwise we might be interviewing Bert Mylander at the end of this race. It could be a home win for the German, I'm guessing, in the German Grand Prix. The safety car might win as Harry has dropped a position. No, it must have just been something happening on my screen. But, oh my goodness, look at where is this. I tell you what, it would look like a boring one-stopper, Brad. But, gee whiz, I've got to say, Wilco and Rob Dog, they've been showing good pace right throughout the opening 27 laps. And with 6 or 7 laps to go, they are really in a perfect position, aren't they, to mount an attack on Jono, Harry and DRC Jared. But I reckon if we see this safety car come around again, Brad, I reckon we might be onto something. Hopefully we're not seeing a glitch as we see Rob Dog warming the tyres up. But I do hope it's not a glitch. But we can see there 14 drivers still remaining in this race. We've lost Crumpkin and Cart Dude. Crumpkin crashing just before the stadium, which is why we have the safety car, as Kane Leishman says, first time the safety car has come out. And I reckon that is because of Kane, isn't it, Brad?
I would believe so. It must have been a big crash for the safety car to have stayed out so long as well.
So we might just flick back to the front. We might keep an eye on those safety car lights. What is Bert going to do with this one? And they should have gone off by now. As you can see, DRC Jared there. These drivers would be losing a bit of tyre temperature. Safety car
in this lap.
Safety car in this lap. Thank you, race control. We are ready to go racing for the last half a dozen or so laps of this one. We might keep it. We'll just go with a wide angle lens on this one, I reckon, because we are going to see more spice than that Vindaloo I had down in Melbourne Town this afternoon, because this is going to be unbelievable stuff. As the field bunches up, DRC Jared inherits the role of the safety car, of course, as the safety car will dive into the pit lane. Those Alfa Romeos, those pesky Alfa Romeos. Oh, Harry Ryan, 5-second penalty for a collision there. But anyway, we are back racing again. And it's DRC Jared across the line then. Lap 28, 6 laps to go. It's going to be a grandstand finish here at the German Grand Prix at the Hockenheim Ring. It's DRC Jared, then Harry there. And then we've got Big Dog Jono. And we've got Wilco there.
Bit of a desync there. Thankfully a desync, because I believe V8 Man would have just smashed the absolute rear of Rob Dog.
And a bit of drama further down the field there, Brad, as Harry, is he going to have a go on Jared around the outside? Round the outside, Tooley retires from the session, I should say. A bit of cheeky contact there.
Oh, Big Dog!
Oh, Big Dog, no! Oh, no! Oh, there's contact, there's cars.
V8 Man.
Mozza, and as Mozza, we could see another safety car, and Mozza has just binned it there, I reckon. Was it contact with Big Dick Johnson? And there's a Alfa Romeo off the track, but never mind about that. My goodness, it's happening. It's happening everywhere. We've got a sprint race to the finish. It's Jared ahead of Harry Ryan. Wilco up to third, and he's going to be putting all sorts of pressure on that man again. We saw them battle it out at the start of the race, and we're going to see it again. But is
Wilco wide.
Wilco wide, and have a guess who he's coming up to as well, Brad.
Yeah, coming up. Rob Dog right behind him as well. These guys will have no DRS yet. But my God, there's been some action right after the safety car. And that is usually what happens. Once you see one crash, you tend to see more. And unfortunately, Jono spinning and then the contact between Mozza and V8 Man, it's caught them all out. I will say, BK up in 5th place and on the medium tyres. It's been a stellar comeback drive. Hopefully Wilco's able to get past this Alpha. Bit of team orders there, and hopefully the Alpha gets out of the way. But hopefully, with a few laps left and the DRS, Wilco is going to be able to get onto the back of the guys in front.
There we go. Good stuff, Sam. Playing the team game. They're getting right out of the way. Oh, talking about getting out of the way. Harry seemed to be going wide there, and that's given Jared a little bit of breathing room. I think we're going to have DRS enabled on this lap, or possibly the next. But Rob Dole right behind him. BK. Well, boy, has he had an eventful race. He's come right back into the running after that safety car, Brad, but he had a good start off the line and even led at one stage before dropping right down to the back. He's been in first, he's been in last, and now he's in P5. And yes, of course, yes, kit buyers, DRS has been enabled. Has PK, you give him a rap and they'll let you down every time. A commentator's curse, Brad, as he picks up a 3-second penalty for multiple corner-cutting warnings.
Yeah, picks up the penalty, and I believe there's a lot of penalties to be handed out here, so this grid is going to be mixed. I'm not sure where people are going to finish. I know Wilco, I believe, does have a 3-second time penalty. Harry Ryan, I believe, has 8 seconds worth of penalties. Rob Dog, I believe, has 6 seconds worth of penalties. So it's all going to come down to the penalties here and where people could finish. You know, you never know. BK could jump up 2 spots because of the penalties that Wilco and Rob Dog have. And vice versa, you never really know. And it's just going to be the guys that have kept it clean that are going to prosper out of this. And, you know, we've got 4 laps to go, about 2 seconds between Wilco and Harry. I'll tell you what, I really want to see Wilco and Rob Dog on the podium.
Yes, no, of course, we just put it out there. No, we're totally unbiased, of course, in this championship. But it would be nice, wouldn't it, as Grinner says, hey guys, big shout out to the boys at Bathurst from Grinner and the boys at the Beach Hut Brewery. And boy, I would love to be up there with you having a
Harry
frothy.
Ryan, 3-second penalty.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Harry has got a 3-second penalty, and that is going to throw a cat amongst the pigeons, I reckon, because that could see this man on the podium, I reckon, or possibly Rob Dog. As Rob Dog now with DRS-enabled battery, ERS, DRS, you name it, he's going to go down the inside of his old mate. But Wilco's not done with yet. The crisscross move, the outside becomes the inside for Wilco. Lap 31 out of 34. He is up into P3. And that sound you heard in the background was the whole of South Australia erupting as their man, the man from Adelaide, the part German, part Australian man, is up into P3 at the moment. What a move, what a race, what a finish we're seeing, Brad.
It's all kicking off. It's going on between Jared and Harry Ryan as well into that hairpin corner. It's all going off with the final laps to go. And boy, I've got to say, this may be the closest finish we have all season.
It certainly will be. Lap 32 now. We've only got a couple to go after this one. And let's just recap and take a breath.
BK, 3-second penalty.
Oh, BK. There's more penalties here than you can throw a stick at, Bradley Marshall. But, Jesus, he's very close. I've really got to stop using the Lord's name in vain because he's very close. We did say that he's going to be in good shape on these medium tyres. He's a little bit far back to have a go here at the moment on
Harry
Wilco.
Ryan diving down the inside of Jared.
Oh, contact!
They've made contact!
Oh, we could see Rob Dog win this race. Unbelievable. Jared just with a nose in front there. Harry Ryan down to second. Well, he's still in second place. But what a race we are seeing. We are coming up to the penultimate lap of this German Grand Prix, Brad. And just like in real life, it is bringing home the bacon here in the Rhineland.
It definitely is. And I'm getting flashbacks of the pre-season race as well because it was in the final 2 laps that we had the most action happening in that race, and it's happening once again in Germany. Germany has thrown up the races of the season so far, and I've got to say that Rob Dog is handling these soft tyres a bit better than Wilco, as he's just behind Harry Ryan now, and could overtake him for second position heading into the DRS section into the hairpin corner.
Which battle do we look at? That is the question I've got to ask you. Penultimate lap of this one. Compact getting a 3-second penalty, but he is down in 7th place. Oh, look at this. We've got Harry within DRS range of DRC, Jared and Rob Dog as well. Let's just see where this battle goes. Oh, he's too far back. DRC Jared lives to fight for another day. Harry not too far behind him. Wilco, oh! Wilco having a little bit of rear-end moment action there as BK potentially tried to have a go at him. Like you said, Brad, these soft tyres not working as well for our man Wilco than what they are for Rob Dog at the moment. But lap 33 out of 34. My goodness, we should see the safety car more often, Brad, because boy, it spices it up.
It definitely does, and it's been something that we've been missing all season. There have been multiple crashes this season that should have brought out a safety car and would have spiced up the races just like it has today. Oh boy, I gotta say, this by far, so far, and probably will go down as the season's best race, I gotta say.
Last lap of this one, I've got to totally agree with you there, Brad. Lap 34
BK, another 3-second penalty.
Oh.
Sorry to interrupt.
No worries at all. BK there with another 3-second penalty. So penalties will play a big part. Will Wilco just forget about that one and let the penalties play out? But look at this. Harry Ryan with potentially one more chance to get this move done and win this race, and he's through. Harry has passed Jared, but Jared on the hard tyres, he comes back down the inside. Is he going to make this move stick? It's DRC Jared with his nose in front ahead of Harry. He's going to have another couple of corners to go, but can he get this move done in the final sector? Don't forget about Rob Dog in P3. This is incredible stuff. Yellow flags out as Sam retires from the race, but forget about that. Coming into the stadium section for the last time. This is unbelievable. DRC Jared just ahead of Harry Ryan in second and Rob Dog in third. Wilco down there in fourth. He's dropped back a fair bit. But DRC Jared through the second last corner. Through the last corner. He's put up with it all. Safety cars, you name it. and he wins the German Grand Prix. What a race. Harry in second, but Rob Dog.
Rob Dog and Wilco on the podium.
Rob
Get
Dog
in, lads.
Oh, get in there. How good
No,
is it?
Honest Crook.
Honest Crook. A Haas on the podium. Unbelievable stuff. It all came down to who didn't have penalties in the end after the safety car came out. And boy, oh boy, what a race. What a German Grand Prix we have seen. DRC Jared takes the win. Rob Dog in second place. And Honest Crook up to P3. Incredible stuff. He must have kept his nose clean, Brad. I'm losing my voice. Wilco finishes in P4. His best result of the season, I believe. Harry all the way down in P5. Living in a corner cutter's paradise, I reckon, there. He's taken a few penalties. BK in 6th. Compact in 7th. Big Dick Johnson didn't have a good finish to the race down there in 8th. 9th for Mozza. Big Donger in 10th. V8 Man in 11th. And Alex in 12th. What a race here tonight.
What an absolute terrific race. I can't believe how much action was just packed into those last 10 laps. I gotta say, the guys that didn't get penalties prospered. I don't even know where Honest Crook actually finished on track, but he's managed to jump up to P3 because of all the penalties in front of him. And I believe the same happened for Compact as well. Compact was down towards the lower end of the field and managed to jump up to P7 because of all the penalties in front. Got a bit too excited thinking that Wilco was on the podium, and Honest Crook has just come across the line and snatched that away. As we see, Honest Crook did not have a single penalty, and that is what has landed him in third place by a second over Wilco.
The only driver not to have a penalty in this race. DRC Jared taking the win in the end. Who said league racing was boring? Well, piss off, because we've just witnessed something very, very special. DRC Jared, Rob Dog in P2, and boy, we've got it's the German Grand Prix, and we're going to have Rob Dog in the post-race press conferences. Hold, because that's going to be absolutely magnificent, so hold out for that. And Honest Crook, without any penalties, taking home third place in Haas. Wilco in the Ferrari, I should say, missing out there on the podium. Honest Crook was P6 on track, BK. As Wilco's saying, the softs were 60% at the end. That was great to watch. Pity F1 for real can't put on a race like that. Go Rob Dog. And, well, they did in Germany, Sam. You're spot on with that one. But there we go. What a race. What an incredible finish. All because of that safety car, of course, which came out about half a dozen or so laps from the end. But we will try to get our top 3 into the post-race interviews, as DRC Jared has been kind enough to let us know that he doesn't have a mic. So we might have to translate for him at the moment, Brad. He's saying, yeah, grazie ragazzi, grazie.
I will invite our man Wilco in just to talk about the battle at the end of the race, because it was hot between himself and BK.
Yep. So there we have it. We're going to replace you, Jared, with Wilco to talk about that spicy battle. And
you'll have to give them the blue screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to do this to you, but I'm going to have to invite some other people into this party. And there we go. How do I see these suggested players here? Yep, so invite players, view suggested players. This stuff's easy. How good's this? We'll get them all in. Our man, Maverick Spicy Boy, Wilco, Honest Crook, and DRC Jared, who doesn't have a mic, so what's the point, I hear you ask, as we wait for those boys. Sorry about the blue screen of death. There we have it. We're back onto the normal stuff. But as we wait for our drivers to join us in the post-race interviews after a crazy German Grand Prix, I've got to say, Brad, hopefully they stay here in real life, because it's in real life, and on this game at least, it's thrown up some pretty interesting racing.
It definitely has, and I believe it's unfortunate that we're not going to see Germany next year. I do believe there is talk, if Mick Schumacher was to get a drive in F1, that Germany would be staying on the calendar.
As they're all... Oh, Wilco's left the party, but...
Wilco's left. Okay, he's back.
Why did I get invited?
Okay,
because I wanted you to talk about your race as well, like at the end with like BK and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, nah. That was crazy. Harry and I had a good battle. Rob joined in. They drove away. I was trying to save my tyres. Safety car come out. We got excited. Too excited. I went to the softs. I knew I should have gone the mediums because the softs were rooted at the end. And yeah, I was hoping to sneak into the that third place, but Crook was too good and got me.
And we're just getting the comments coming through. BK saying Wilco favouritism. How about fuck off? Because we've got Wilco in there now. So no, I'm just joking. But the man that I think we all want to speak to is DRC Jared. Doesn't have a mic, of course, for anyone just joining us. So I could translate.
Honest Crook hasn't joined us either.
And Honest Crook hasn't joined, so I can translate for DRC Jared. I had a good race. My lead extended to about 8 seconds before the first pit stop. Then the safety car came out. I didn't pit, stayed on the hard tyres, and took the race win. Thank you for that DRC Jared. As is our man Rob Maverick Spicy Boy. Guten Morgen to you. Are you in the party? Can you hear me? Oh goodness!
Fuck yeah, boys!
Oh
yeah! It was good. That was a fantastic. I was watching the battle between Wilco and Harry and Jared there for a while, and I thought, well, I saw Wilco really struggling on his softs, and I thought, I think the move's on here, and just saved a little bit of battery, and I mean,
tell the real story, mate.
I'll
let you through.
But seriously though. Oh God.
I gotta say, I got a bit excited at the end. I'm like, Rob Dog and Wilco on the podium.
Yeah,
and
honest, so did I.
Honest
you
Crook
should have
come
heard
across
it.
the line and took it. I'm like, no!
You should have heard it. As soon as we both crossed the line, our names were like, 2, 3, and we're both screaming, and then Wilco goes, I've been beaten, and I'm like, oh no!
Dust is not good. If you drive clean like Crook did, you get the rewards.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
Wilco, you shouldn't be such a sauerkraut tonight because it was still a good result for you.
I had a good race. I'm happy.
You had a good race, and boy, oh boy, in the fatherland, the man has got the job done. And let's just take a moment to think about this. Rob Dog only joining the championship, Maverick Spicy Boy, a couple of weeks or so ago. And you have got onto the podium in the glorious fatherland. Has we got anybody else? We can't get Honest Crook in. He hasn't joined us at the moment.
He doesn't have a mic, so he can do his translation.
Okay, well, it was interesting. I was P6 on track at the end of the race, but keeping my nose clean, not getting any penalties, had its advantages, because I went up to P something or other at the end of the race. P3. I can never get P3 right, can I? But there we go. Thank you, Honest Crook. Thank you, DRC Jared. And thank you to Wilco as well. And I think we've got to be honest, we only really stayed on air to talk to Rob.
Well played.
Anyway, so we are just about out of time. We couldn't give a shit about the rest of them because we just wanted to speak to Rob and Wilco. Hashtag no favoritism here. But if you don't like it, turn it off and get the hell out of here. And, well, this has been fantastic. Thank you, Bradley Marshall, once again for doing it all over again for another week. We've got a week off, Brad, now.
Yeah, bit sad. I mean, at least we finished on that race. I gotta say, if we're gonna have a season break, at least we had the race of the season before it.
We should race in Germany every week, just like SRL F1.
Yeah. I feel like we should just race in Germany because that really worked out quite well for me, and I feel like I'm the best. I wake up in the morning and I piss excellence. So let's just keep racing in fucking Germany.
Yes, unbelievable there. We've got a 1 week break. BK says, fuck you too, Trev. I'll take that. I did tell him to fuck off, but we're all just having fun here, BK. And have a week off, brother, and we will see you in a couple of weeks. Mozza saying, either way, I am reporting, but just be careful, man. The usual salt that we see in the post-race
stuff. I saw
stuff.
that in a review mirror. Someone's decided to put a McLaren into a wall, but we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there.
We will leave it there, and we will leave you there.
I'm sick
Thank
and
you.
pissed on Saturday, Alvo. Let's get around it. Cruise time.
Thank you, Wilco. As big, that's just reminded me there. But James Barton saying, from where I was sitting, Mozzie, you drove V8 man into the wall. Let's just... boy, I reckon we're going to see the salt start to fly in the comments.
We're going to have a Fubbles incident again. Oh, God.
Oh, gee.
Oh, I love the salt. It's delicious. I can taste it right now. I like a little bit of salt on a steak, Trev.
Oh,
a
yes.
salt on a steak, and it's good, mate.
Yep, medium rare. That's how it's done. We've got a 1 week break, folks. Then back for round 7 at Spa. Then we head to Asia for Singapore and Japan. And Rob will be out partying there and getting some... nice. Anyway, we'll leave it there. But USA round 10 and round 11 at Abu Dhabi. A country with such a rich history in motorsport is where it all finishes in round 11 back on whatever date that is on the 21st of November. We're almost out of time, folks. Thanks very much for joining us. If you want to get involved in this super exciting series, you've seen how exciting it is. Head over to supremeracingleague.com.au as the comment section is getting very spicy and salty indeed. Yeah. But don't forget supremeracingleague.com.au. We've got leagues on PC, Xbox One and PS4 according to that little Julian kid. So get amongst it and get involved. We're almost out of time. Alvita Zane, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye for now.
Arrivederci. Why, that's Sicilian.
Fucking, you hear that scream, imagine what would happen if I